I'm Ellen the Crazy Crafty Lady, here with another awesome video. Today I thought we could hang out and sew a little bit and chat and make this awesome pillow out of Betty Boop fabric. Got some awesome fabric, and we got this really awesome Betty Boop charm for the zipper pull. And of course our pattern pieces. This was a bigger piece and I modified it to make it work right. It's 11.5 by 14.5 for the middle square. And then the stripes and the end pieces are 5.5 by 14.5 and 3 by 14.5. Actually not 5.5, but 5 by 14. And these are our patterns. And we have an awesome zipper. I only have the one zipper now, and it's a little bit too big, but we can modify and cut that down. Got our awesome Betty Boop charm for the zipper pull at some point in time. So let's get started. We'll just grab one of these pieces. We have these awesome clips here to show which side is the top on all of our parts of this fabric. Which end has the most upright Betty Boops, I say. So what we want to do now is grab our piece. Let's turn it this way. This end will end up being the zipper. And we will put this on here like that. And you want to make sure that your traced side is up, so when you sew it and flip it, you don't see any of those trace lines. So let's do this. Get our awesome wonder clips out. Get all the little clips out. And we will put clips to these. Holds them together. Get ready to let's add a clip at the end. We want to try to make this nice and even so that it looks really nice when we get it done. So now we have this part clipped. Let's take it to the machine and we will sew it together. All right, let's get you in here a little bit better. There you can see the machine. Put this on like that. Might be slightly under a 1/2 inch seam allowance, but it'll be about that. Let's do back stitching. Slide that down just a bit. We can take that one off now. Doesn't hurt to go slow once in a while on this part, because you want it to be nice and even. Okay, take that one off. straighten that one out. Let's slide this one down in here for a minute. Make sure this part is stitch, back stitch, cut our thread, still having a little, there we go. Let's see what it looks like. A little off right there, but let's see. That looks pretty nice. That's the first part of our pillow. Let's go back to the board and we'll put our second piece on. Let's move this stuff out of the way and we'll grab one of our middles here. Take the clip out. That's our top as well. We're gonna put a clip here so we don't lose sight of the top. All right, let's slide this over. Okay. Get you in there so you can see what I'm working on. Let's put this. Leaving this out. We can do our trimming and things later, like we always do. Put a clip in. Clip it in. All right, let's grab the little clips and put one and one here. Okay, let's go back to our machine. Second piece on, our third piece actually, and we will attach that. Let me just kind of even that out a little bit. All right. And then we'll back stitch a little. Here it's kind of far apart, so we'll just slide that one down for now. Now we can take it off. This one will slide a hair. Take it off. And some of it won't be perfectly even, but we can trim everything in the end. Back stitch. Cut that off. There we go. Let's see. this is what we have so far. Looking very nicely. Let's get it back to the board. And we'll put the next pieces on. Let's get another one of our red ones. Put it this way. I think what we're going to do this time is just get a few pieces ready at once if I can do it again. Put a clip on it. Clip there, and we'll put a clip at the end. There's that. And then we got our final one of these. Alright, this is going to get moved to the middle. This signifies top of the pillow. All right, let's return to the machine. And we'll sew our other piece on. Slide that one down a little bit. Back stitch. This you kind of want to be a little precise so that it doesn't look wonky after you sew it or crooked or anything like that. Slide that one down. And take the final one off. Back stitch. And here we have both our red strips are on. We have one more final strip. Let me grab that and I'll just bring it over to the machine. We'll just bring this one over to the machine and put it on. And I can just do a clipping from here, since all my clips are here anyways. Alright, let me, I must move this down a little bit. Let's just get a clip on it from here. There we go. And like I said, we'll end up trimming a little bit off of some of this in the end. get another clip right here. There we have that. Alright, we will definitely be trimming later. There we go. Slide this one over a little bit down. Back stitch. Slide down. Move that. Slide down. Stitch. And here we have the first panel of our pillow is complete. Looks fantastic. All right, let's go. We'll take a quick trip to our ironing board and we'll give it a pressing. Just kind of playing it with my hands first. Get that iron reheated. Got an awesome iron, takes 1 minute to heat. Just to kind of. All right, let's go back to our table. There is the first panel of our awesome pillow. Let me unzoom you. There's the first panel of our awesome pillow. Now we will start on the second one. Just kind of put this aside for the moment. And we will start the construction of our second panel. Let's get some more clips over here in case we need them. And we will start with one of our red strips. And we want to make sure that we get that drawn trace line on top so that it is not shown after it is sewn. That on like that. Clip here. Clip here. There. All right, let's take this really quick to the machine. Or actually, we can do this here too. Put that piece on. And let's grab a few clips. And then we can sew both sides at the same time. And I won't have to come back to the table right away. Might save a little bit of time. Let's get a clip on there and kind of slide it down. A couple more. Put this one on. And one for the end. All right, let's go to the sewing machine. And we will sew these two on. Go. Back stitch. Slide that down a little bit. Remove it. Slide that one down a little bit. Let's move that. Back stitch. There we have. The first panel is on. Looks great. Now we'll go to this side. So much easier when you put some together and do them at once. Saves you a little time from going back and forth, and you can get something done a little quicker on the machine. Get more parts together for sewing. We can remove that one. Ready for our back stitching. Cut that. There we go. Looks really nice. That's the center of our pillow. Let's go back to the board. And we will get our ends ready to go. Let's slide that one aside and make sure you can see that. Give that one a little finger pressing real quick. Okay. Let's get our ends. And we will put our ends on. get a few clips going. This way it goes a little faster if we pin them both, clip them both, however you want to do it. Do them both at once, and then you'll be able to get them to the machine and sew them both quicker at the same time instead of coming back and redoing the other side. Just do them both. Clip on the end. And you get little bits of hangover, but they can be worked out later when you give it a nice trim, if you want to give it a nice trim, or if you just sew it. And once you go around in that, it'll be hidden away anyways, and it'll look really nice. There's ways to do it. There's different ways if you want to do it certain ways for yourself. Let me get a clip in the bottom one here. All my clips are at the machine once again. They're always at the machine. All right, let me grab a clip or two here. And we'll throw that on there. And let's go to the machine. Kind of bring you in a little bit. Let's get our final panels put together. Back stitch. Slide that down. Let's move this a little bit and kind of fix that before we go too far. There we go. Stitch. There we go, it came off. Looks great, looks really nice. Let's do our final panel here. Straighten this out a little bit. Back stitch, forgot about that. Slide. stitch. Cut our thread. There we go. Here is our second panel. Looks fantastic. Now let's try to turn this into a pillow. Let's come back to our table. And let me run and give this a fast pressing on the ironing board. I'll be right back. Here it is after it is pressed. Looks really nice. Let me unzoom ya. There we go. Looks really nice. All pressed. Now, let's get our other half and we will turn this into a pillowcase. Get our zipper. Our zipper will definitely have to be trimmed, but we can trim that. So let's see. Let's turn this over. And we're going to line up this side. And then we will trim this side after it is all sewn together. Let's get our awesome tape I so love. This is the seam tape from the Sailrite company. It's the best ever I ever bought. I've tried others, and there's nothing like Sailrite's seam tape. So we are going to put our seam tape on this side of the zipper. Let's just kind of zip this for now so I can get a nice even line on my seam tape. Okay, gotta give it a good pressing so that it peels right. Sometimes it has a hard time peeling. There we go. Perfection. Just throw that aside for now. All right, now we want to line up our zipper onto our fabric. So let's line our fabric on here at the end. Looks great. And then it holds it in place. You can use pins or clips or whatever you like. But I find that this is the best. I don't do well with the pinning and the clipping and I do well with the clipping for certain things, but not for zippers. I don't. Okay. Let's get this over to the sewing machine. And we will sew our zipper. Sometimes you can use the zipper foot, but I find that they sometimes aren't for me. So I just use the regular foot and sew along the edge with it. Sometimes you gotta go past this and then go back and sew it up after. Couple of back stitches. And you got this little part of your foot that kind of keeps it in line with the zipper, so it helps, I think. And you got the little thing in the middle right there. There's a little indent. It tells you that it's the middle. Ready for our back stitch. There we go. Looks fantastic. It's really, really awesome. Now let's go put our other side. Alright, let's get our other side, and we will put this on. This is where you want to kind of try to line up your strips too. They won't always be perfect, but they don't have to be totally perfect, just so that they're not real far off. Alright, let's fold this back over and let's get our awesome seam tape again. And we will put it on just below the zipper part, since we're going to be trimming anyways. And you'll want to go over that part a few times with the machine back and forth so that it holds it on really nice. Alright, let's that. Give it a nice pressing. And let's see if we can get that to come off. There we go. And we want to do this side first so that it lines up with this. Because the other side, the zipper part doesn't matter, but the fabric does. And that lined up really, really nicely. Now let's go to the machine and put our zipper on and sew it on this side. And we'll line our presser foot with the edge of that. Back stitch. Now we're coming to this little end here. I may have to cut my threads and then pull that zipper tab down a hair. Maybe, maybe not. Sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. All right. Let's open this up. Looks fantastic. Now here, what you want to do possibly is give your zipper line a nice little finished edge by just putting it on the machine and going along the edge and just finishing it off. Gives it a nice little look and kind of decorates it some, I say. Back stitch. It's really a simple process for that. See. Oh, I'm a little bit stuck. Okay, let me see. Oh, my needle fell out. Oh, my. Let me see if I can get this back in. So sorry about that. And yes, I can. It's pretty sticky. All right, let's try this. There we go, it's back in. All right. Now I just have to grab hold of the thread. I have no nails to grab this thread. I'll use these. All right, there we go. Got that fixed. All right, let's see. Let's put that under there. And let's carry on right about here. All right. Seam tape is made for sewing over certain things, but once in a while it does not like it. But we were able to save a project. All right. Now that gave it a really nice looking little finish there. Now let's do the other side. We'll give it a finish on this side. Back stitch a couple times. Just kind of holds it where it needs to stay, and then the threads don't come out later. Back stitch. Let's cut that. Get that out of there. Cut our threads. And there we have a really nice looking seam line. All right, let's go back and do our trimming and turn this thing into a pillow. Let's go back to our table. We'll put that back down. And then we'll bend this like that. Let's see what we're going to do here next. All right, next we're going to, we can pull these clips now because they're safe enough that all the parts are where they need to be. Let's unzip our pillow cover. And let's put it like this. And let's, we're going to turn it this way for a minute and get everything lined up. Let me make sure you can see that. Yes, you can. And we're going to line these two ends up. And we will clip that off after the pillow gets sewn together. Let's fold these just like that. And we're going to clip this end like that. Now let's do this. We want both sides to go the same, so let's put a clip on it. There we go. Now what we're going to do is, maybe I'll just clip this for now, just to keep everything nice and even. Let's do this. And just kind of, I mean, nothing's going to ever be perfect. I just want a really nice little pillow cover for my oblong pillow for my armrest kind of deal. Let's slide you up here and we will put our corners on. Get something for the bottom. Just kind of go around the corner, and these will be a 1/2 inch seam allowance on this. Right there, and let's look at this bottom. Let's take that off and this off. Sometimes it does what it wants to do, and you have to take a flip over, just kind of line it up and put your little hook on, clip on it. Let's clip this little end right here. And now we can kind of flip it back around just so that everything is nice and even and we see what the bottom looks like before we sew and not get a oh no kind of deal. There's that. And we can always move them around if we have to. If there's a lumpy spot or, let's see, right here. That looks pretty good. Put one here. Sometimes you need quite a few. I never seem to have enough of these little ones right in my grasp. Okay. Put one. This side seems to be a little wonkier than the other, so we're going to add a couple extra. All right, there we are. Let's go to the sewing machine and we'll sew it together. Get you in a little better. And we will go around and sew it together. Let me trim. There we go. Get that out of the way. All right, let's slide our little first clip down. Put that on there like that. Back stitches. Move that down. All right, let's put that over this. Move that clip down as I go. And this is where you want to kind of take it slow a little bit, because you want it to look really nice and not crooked and out of shape or out of the way. So a little at a time is just fine for a project like this, just so that it looks really nice in the end. I'm all about a project looking good when I get it finished. Let's take that one right off. Put that one down at the corner. And then we'll just go very carefully to the corner. And let's see, that's perfect. So now we're going around the corner. Slide our clip down. Move that one. Let's put one at the end for now, just to kind of hold it in place. Now we can remove that one. Now we'll remove the corner one. Let's see. There we go. Right around the corner we go. Let's kind of move that to there for a minute. Now we can remove that one. Move the this one down to there. And we might not even have a lot of trimming except to clip off our corners here and there. And now we're getting to the end. Let's remove this clip, and we will hold this part over the zipper. It is a nylon coil zipper, so it won't hurt the machine to sew over it. And be careful though. Let's trim. All right, and there we have that. Let's pull our little couple of clips off. Let's go back to the table, and we will clip our corners. And we will take this here and clip off our corners. And we will clip off this corner. And then what we want to do is clip off this piece of zipper. And how we're going to do that is we're going to get this awesome trimmer and just kind of like take it like that. Trim her right off. Perfectly, perfectly beautiful. All right. Now what we want to do is flip our pillowcase inside out. Let's trim a couple strings with our scissors. Push it through here, and there we have. Let's trim this one. Here we have our awesome, awesome zipper. Works fantastic, looks fantastic. Let's go in here and poke our corners. There we go. I'm going to give this thing a quick pressing on the ironing board. Be right back, folks. Let me give this thing a quick pressing. Just enough to kind of give it a shape. All right. Put the pillow in. There we go. Looks fantastic. Now, time for our little zipper pull. It is Betty Boop. And she is going to be wonderful on this awesome pillow we have. So let's get this zipper pull going. I don't have any nails left, so it might be a little hard to get it on there at first. All right, let's put that into our zipper, the little hole at the top of our zipper pull, and we will run that around. And it looks awesome. Let's grab our pillow. We have this really awesome pillow that I'm going to install in here. And you're going to push the pillow in there. Get all my goodies out of the way. Sometimes you gotta poke and push and pull and things like that. Looks fantastic. Let's zip her up. And there it is. Our awesome, wonderful Betty Boop pillow. And our awesome Betty Boop charm. And there you have it, folks. Thanks for watching my video, and see you on the next one. Bye-bye.